Inner Quest explores various pathways through which you can connect with the infinite wisdom of the universe and apply it to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. This program, featuring accomplished practitioners, educators, and authors, is provided by Infinity Foundation, an innovative center for holistic studies and research. We invite you to share this journey with us.
Hello, welcome to Inner Quest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is Bhante Sujatha. Welcome, Bhante.
Thank you.
Bhante is a Buddhist monk from Sri Lanka. He has followed the practices of a monk for over 30 years. Bhante is the abbot of the Blue Lotus Temple in Woodstock, Illinois, and he teaches meditation to people searching for happiness and contentment. His instructions are based on the ancient Buddhist teachings. Now, before the show, I asked you, is there anything special that a monk is called? And then you kind of explained your name.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell our audience what Bhante means?
So Bhante means like venerable or monk.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the word we use for before the first name.
Now, have you always, once you joined the monastery 30 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
were you immediately called Bhante, or did you have to earn that distinction?
No, immediately they call Bhante. Any monks we call the Bhante in our tradition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what age did you first enter a monastery?
Actually, age 10 I left home, and
Mm-hmm.
age 11 I became a monk.
And what drew you to the monastery? Why did you become a monk at age 10?
So my parents, they are born Buddhist. I'm always go to temple with my mother. When I go to the temple, I always feel peaceful and happy. Monks are very kind and compassionate people. They make fun and laughing a lot. And so I thought it's a peaceful place. One day my teacher asked me, do you like to become a monk? That's it. And so I said, sure, even I don't know what it is.
Now, is it common for children at the age 10 to choose to become a monk?
Yes, it's a very common thing in Sri Lanka. Yeah.
Okay. Do they ever do it earlier than age 10?
The age 7 is the lowest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was your life like growing up, starting at age 10 in a Buddhist
So now
monastery?
age 11 I became a monk. So after that, because I was young, so my teacher said I had to go long period of time for training. So I did my training 10 years. It was very difficult training, it's vigorous, like living in a boot camp.
And okay. And so, what did your training involve?
So we had to get up 4 in the morning, and so then we had to do the chanting and meditation like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had to go to the village to collect the food. We call the arm collection.
And these are donations,
yes,
private donations?
Yeah, it's a food, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so then we come to the temple and have breakfast, then all the other work, physical work, cleaning, and then during the day we had to study.
And
so,
now you mentioned breakfast. What would you eat in the monastery?
So we have different things when we go arms round collecting food. So people offer different things, the bread and rice and fruits and so many different things. So we don't know whatever we going to have. So whatever we receive, we have to eat it.
Uh-huh.
So we don't have so many options. So I cannot say I cannot eat this or something like that.
Now, did you grow food at your monastery?
Not really. So always we go and collect the food, and people bring the food.
Now, anything else you want to add about your training in the monastery?
I know it was a difficult training, but I really like it now as an adult. I think that training shaped me very well. So now, because of the training, I can live anywhere in the world. So.
And your parents, are they supportive? Were they supportive of you becoming a monk, or they?
In the beginning, not at all. So they didn't like it at all because of my decision. But I was keep asking and asking. Finally, they gave me the permission because they couldn't handle it anymore. But they were angry, disappointed. now they love it.
Okay. And what kind of work did your parents do?
Because my father has a family business,
Mhm.
and my mother stay home and supporting the family, and so that's what they are doing.
So they kind of expected you to go into the family business?
Oh yes, of course, because I'm the only son in my family. So the Eastern families, they always thinking only son stay home and taking care of the parents, and so that's the tradition. So
Interesting.
yeah, exactly.
And now, did some of the monks who joined at age 7 or 10, did they ever drop out?
Oh yes, always we can come in, and if you don't want to do that, we can go away. So it is totally set free.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you ever feel at any point
A
like you
couple
wanted
of
to drop?
times I had that feeling when I was a teenage monk, and so the good thing about it, so always I had noble friends, and my teachers, they guided me very well when I have a hard time. It wasn't really difficult, but the rough time, sometimes when we are turning to teenage time, so yeah, I made it. Yeah.
Okay, and you said they would counsel and help you during tough times. Like, was it some advice, or they just say, well, sit there and meditate till you get an
Not
answer?
really, no, not like that. They are very kind and compassionate people, always like, like mother, like a father, always guiding them. Sometimes tough too, and it depends on the situation, but always their base is, the reaching to us with kindness and compassion.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how often do you get to go back and visit your family in Sri Lanka?
I do now every year.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, every year I go to Sri Lanka.
Good for you. And what really led you to your decision to become a monk? Was it like an epiphany, or?
Because I didn't have exactly very strong idea about it that age, but only feeling I had, I love it. It's like a very exciting experience. When I go to the temple, always I like that environment and peaceful experience. But age 10, I don't know how to describe it really well, deeply. So I just follow my the feeling.
And what age did you start to meditate?
Actually, the Buddhist countries, the Buddhist families, always when you go to the temple, even we cannot sit still, we have to try to sit still. And when I go to the Sunday school, always we have to do like a 5-10 minutes meditation. That's how I started, like age 7, 8, like that age when I go to temple.
And then would you meditate at home? Would like the family gather and just be still and silent?
Yes, we do a little bit, and more than meditating, we do the offering to the Buddha and those kind of things, a little ritual.
Okay.
So,
now, can you describe the offering?
So
would
we
you
offer,
put out rice or something?
So during the day, if you offer something, we offer food, definitely, of course. And especially in the evening, we offer flowers, incense, and the candles, and maybe some water.
Now, do you do offerings for the Buddha at your temple here?
Of course, that's a kind of always we do. People always do that.
And what is the purpose to make the offering to the Buddha?
So the one is a respect, to the Buddha. People treating him as a live person, right? Because when they offer food, because that's kind of representing the sustain the body. So because we believe in the karma, right? We offer those kind of things, whether we like or not, we receive it. That's according to the karma. So always when we offer the flowers, and we think about the life, flowers are beautiful and fragrance, and end of the day, the fading away. That's the nature of the impermanence. Same with the food. When you offer the food, is the delicious and smell good, but end of the day, it's going bad. So always we are doing.
What do you do with the flowers and the food after they go bad? You throw it out?
Yeah, just throw it out. Yeah, that's what we are doing.
Now, do you say something when you make the offering?
Yes, we are thinking about the qualities of the Buddha or Buddha nature and his teachings.
Would you say it out loud or silently to yourself?
Sometimes we can do silently, sometimes we can do as a group of people get together and we do the chanting.
Now, before the show, I asked if you chant out loud, and you said yes. Would you grace us with some of your chanting?
Really, I would like to do that.
Okay.
Bahun sahasma bhinim Mita sayudhantang girimekalang udita ghora sasena marang Dhanadidhamma vidhina jitva munindo tante jasa bhavatu te jaya mangalani.
I wanted to say amen because that was my tradition.
Okay.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay.
Now, excuse my ignorance, but what language was that?
There's a very old traditional language in India. It's called the Pali. All the Buddhist teaching in Pali or Sanskrit. Very close to both languages are like brothers. So Pali is called the Pali.
And what did those words mean?
So we talk about the power of the Buddha nature, the qualities of the Buddha, and so his love and compassion and his generosity, and we chant those qualities, and at the end of the chanting we say, may the power of these qualities, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Mm-hmm. That is the meaning of the chanting.
And did you used to chant in your home growing up?
Oh, always. Always. You know, chanting is a big thing in our culture.
And that's good to know because, you know, I honestly didn't know that. I know some religious sects chant, but it's good to know that's your culture. And would the family chant together?
It's depend on the situation, and you know, we have a special gathering or something like that. More than family get together and chanting, always we are inviting monks to the family, and then they will chant. Then we listen to the chant more than we are chanting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then would your family feed the monks?
Always. Always is a big thing.
Yeah, and I bet it's a blessing for
you know, they think it's a merits for the people, like a good deed.
And so the monks are very respected and appreciated.
Oh yeah, so much.
Yeah, I once met a monk. I believe it was Thailand, and he lived in a cave, and you know, and people would just you know, drop off food and water, and you know, if they didn't, he would nothing to eat, and nothing to drink. So he was under the goodwill. Now I do know there are different types of Buddhism. How would you describe the Buddhism you follow?
Actually, Buddhism doesn't have different types. Originally, it doesn't have. So now people see the different kind of schools.
Like Zen Buddhism?
Yes, Zen Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, or Theravada Buddhism, where I'm coming from. I don't like the word Buddhism, actually. And I like to say Buddhist teaching, or Buddha Dharma, or Buddha Dhamma.
And what does that mean?
The teaching of the Buddha.
Okay.
The teaching of the Buddha. Ism always creating some problems and issues in the community and the world, right? It's, you know, there's a strong religious meaning behind the ism.
I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So now I think always Buddhist teaching or Buddhism, let's go with the popular word, it doesn't have a shape. So Buddhism originated in India, it's moved to different country, always take the culture's shape.
Well, you know, I just had a thought. You refer to it as the teachings of the Buddha. I think more importantly, the practices of the Buddha.
Right, exactly.
You know, it was an Eastern master who said, to know and not yet to do is not yet to know. The knowledge is in the doing. So somebody can claim they know the teachings of Buddhism or Buddha, but if they don't practice
what is the meaning of it?
Yeah,
right, exactly.
So, so what are some of your daily practices that
my personal practice?
Yes.
So my personal practice, I get up in the morning, then I do my chanting, and then I do my meditation practice. That's how I start my day.
And how long? What time do you wake up? And how long do you chant?
Like 5:30, and then I do the chanting and meditation like 45 minutes. Yeah.
And how many people stay at the monastery?
Here in Chicago? Or?
Yeah, well, where'd you say, Woodstock?
Woodstock.
Yeah.
So we have 3 Buddhist monks and 1 Buddhist nun.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 of us. Yeah.
And so you're called the abbot.
Yes, I call that's my title.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
That means the head monk of the temple.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm the one started and I'm the founder of the Blue Lotus Temple.
And how did you end up in Woodstock, Illinois?
I used to live in Michigan with Sri Lankan community, Sri Lankan Buddhist temple. Then I was thinking that time, 10 years ago, I want to serve American local people. I don't know how, because of the language, I don't know how to speak. Then I was looking for a place to come. Then I found the Unitarian Church, and they said, please come and we will help you. That's how I end up in Woodstock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I came to the Woodstock. And then they left, and so we own the building now,
Mm-hmm.
and now we open to public the Blue Lotus Temple.
And do you ever have like retreats there?
Always. It's a very busy place. We have retreats and workshops and talks, and it's a very public place and so many public events.
And do you ever find like people come from different religions, like Catholicism? Oops.
Yeah,
I just used an ism.
It's okay.
A Catholic or a Jew.
Because the Blue Lotus Temple, because this is your country and this is your culture. So when I opened Blue Lotus Temple to local people, I said it doesn't matter for me your faith or your background, your culture. So I always open place to public. Anybody can come and practice. If you have your own religion and beliefs or faith, just follow it. And so I don't want to change that. I don't want to convince that or convert you. And only thing I recommended them, and please come and sit and practice meditation, find some peace and happiness.
And how many years have you been in Woodstock?
Now this is my 10th year.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so do you have people that have stayed with you since year 1?
Oh yes, yes. Always people stayed with me.
And you must see some tremendous transformation.
Even sometimes, I cannot believe it how much people change just practicing meditation and listening to the teaching of the Buddha. And sometimes I feel so happy and content when I see that, because I remember the day they came to the temple with depression and anxieties and fear and worries, and now they are very happy and peaceful, always very grateful and appreciate.
Well, I assume you've taken a vow of abstinence,
Mm-hmm.
but the people that come,
Mm-hmm.
can they be involved, like a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
come?
Oh yes, always they come with family, with children, husband and wife, boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
and girlfriend, always they come together.
And do you ever do wedding ceremonies?
I always do.
Yeah.
I always do so many wedding ceremonies and blessings. I travel for that sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I assume since you grew up a Buddhist, that your mom and dad
Uh-huh.
were married.
Yeah, it's a Buddhist tradition, yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, the name of your temple is, was it Blue Lotus?
Yes, Blue Lotus Buddhist Temple.
And why the name Blue Lotus?
So the lotus flower is very significant in the Buddhist teaching. So just imagine the lotus flower grow in the mud and muddy water, and then open to the world. And so that's the way Buddha asks us to practice our mind like a lotus flower, because we have to live in this society. There is no other place to go. It's like a mud, and same place we have to grow ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That is the representation of the blue lotus.
And but the color blue, does that have any significance?
Because I pick it as a national flower in my country.
Okay.
The blue lotus.
Okay.
And very rare flower.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what goes on? In the mornings, afternoons, evenings
Uh-huh.
at the Blue Lotus Temple.
So the morning, actually we don't have that many activities in the morning. The evening,
I would assume on the weekends you do.
Yeah, weekends we have a lot. But in the evening always we have something, introduction to meditation, or different teachers come and do, and yoga or Tai Chi and all other different activities also happening. And also weekdays in the evening we have regular meditation and chanting.
And well, I'm thinking of the lotus.
Uh-huh.
The lotus is in yoga, it's a sitting position.
Yeah.
Does it? And I know when people meditate, they like to sit in the lotus position.
Or Indian style, they call, right?
Yeah, well, I call it lotus position. I've been doing yoga for 30 years. And I really think sitting in the lotus position is helpful for the meditation.
Yes, especially, when you meditate, sit like cross-leg and lotus position is very important. You can keep your back straight and you can breathe well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so tell our audience your definition of meditation.
The meditation, the word we use in Eastern countries, in our Buddhist language, we call the bhavana. So English-speaking country, the countries like United States, they translate it as meditation. I think it is totally wrong. So bhavana, literal meaning, cultivation of the mind. So let's go with the popular word now. Meditation means you have to cultivate your mind. If you don't cultivate your mind, that is not meditation at all. But what people doing as meditation practice, they are just doing the relaxation exercises or relaxation techniques. In that moment they are calming down, that's good, better than nothing. But after that, that experience will lose soon. Right after you go to the society, after you distract with people and the things, you will lose that relaxation experience. But when you cultivate yourself, your mind, always you learn something about yourself. I call it self-discovery. You discover something about yourself, your mind, your body, your feeling and emotions, then you will never lose it.
Well, I heard that the Buddhists didn't write things down because they didn't believe in the written word, that you had to discover the truth through your own direct experience.
Yes.
And that's what occurs during meditation.
Right, exactly. That's what's happening. You can read so many books, but reading books, you can meditate, but I don't think it's really work very well. And always I'm suggesting people, you can read and you can get the information, but the teacher and guidance is very important.
Well, and the experience.
Yeah, experience.
And part of our brain learns directly from experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe if we heed our minds and our bodies, our minds and bodies will lead us to what makes us happy, healthy, compassionate,
exactly.
loving.
Yeah. So now modern world, they always say, when you exercise or when you meditate, what will happen? Our serotonin level increase. That's what happened during the meditation. That's why people make themselves happy. So meditation brings you more awareness, mindfulness, compassion, and those kind of things to our lives.
I once purchased a T-shirt. It said, "Meditation, it's not what you think."
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's totally right. People have so many misconceptions about meditation.
Well, please clear them up. I want to learn.
Yeah, because they think the many people, when they come to meditation, they think they want to relax. I totally understand, because we are distracted and exhausted everyday life, but people always enjoy that relaxation and that experience. But I'm always suggesting people, you have to cultivate, you have to develop your mind. Then the question, what kind of things we have to cultivate? Loving kindness, compassion, acceptance, mindfulness, and all those qualities we have to cultivate.
Well, and so how does meditation cultivate happiness, love, compassion?
So I call it mindful observation. Mindful observation. So usually when we have thoughts, right, we just react the thoughts, and whatever arising in our mind, we just react. So when anger comes, then people react to anger. Then we are in trouble. So when you practice mindfulness, when anger comes to you, then you recognize, oh, anger is coming, observing it, and let it pass without clinging to it or pushing it away. So just mindful observation, that's my word. Mindful observation always bring you more awareness.
So the goal of the meditation is to enhance mindful observation even when you're not meditating. If you're mindful,
right,
you're...
Yes, exactly. You talk about the lotus position and sit and meditate. Actually, I call it the training. The not meditating. That is the time we are training our mind, right? Real practice, when you get out from the cushion or walk away and everyday life, that is the time you are truly practicing. Training and practicing is totally two different things.
But our body has an intelligence like the mind. And I think what happens when the mind is still, we become more aware of
Aware,
the
exactly.
intelligence
Yes.
in our body.
Yes, exactly. The sitting is very important. Sitting is very important. Sometimes I can see people, they are so attached to cushion and sit, but sometimes they don't know how to apply that training to everyday life. So I'm always suggesting people, whatever you learn sitting on the cushion, can you apply into your everyday life? Otherwise, what is the point of doing the meditation practice?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's impossible to truly sit
Right.
and not come out a better person.
Right, exactly.
Because
sitting is very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that when we I don't know if you believe in a higher power or something outside of the ego, that's the voice inside our head that's
Right, exactly.
talking.
Yeah.
But we develop a higher intelligence,
Right, exactly.
which makes our lower intelligence calmer, happier, more peaceful.
Yeah, exactly.
And so now I've been to some the Zen Buddhist temple on Cornelia Avenue in Chicago, and there when you go to a service, you just sit quietly. You know, the head monk will ring a bell and
Right.
everybody's silent, and then he'll ring a bell. We stop. He might say a few words, he'll ring a bell, we
Right,
sit again,
right.
ring a bell, stop, and that's the service. What goes on in your typical
Yes, the
service?
Blue Lotus Temple, we are not doing like that. We ring the bell and I always guide, the guided meditation.
Okay.
We do the guided meditation because so many new people come, they don't know what they have to do and they need some, the guidance and directions. And so I always doing like a 30-40 minutes guided meditation. Then after that, always we have discussion and I give the short speech. Then after that, people ask the question.
Now, if any of our viewers are watching, are they welcome to come?
Always, the Blue Lotus Temple always open to public.
And how many people typically attend service? On Sunday?
Usually Saturday morning, we get like 70 to 75 people.
And then after, is there like a gathering of the
Yeah,
community?
people sit down and talk each other, and we have social gathering too.
Okay, great, great. Do you have any special techniques for meditation?
So we call the insight meditation technique. That's the technique we are using, and two techniques I'm using when I teach meditation. One is practicing loving kindness, and the second one is we call the vipassana meditation. It's called translate into insight meditation. Those are the two techniques we are using.
Now, when you're practicing loving meditation, is there a feeling, because love is not only cognitive, something that we think love, but we also feel it, which I feel is more important.
First we have to feel it. What I'm suggesting in the when I start to practice loving kindness meditation for the beginners, always repeat the words. Right? Well, happy and peaceful. I am well, I am happy, I am peaceful.
Okay.
So then
So
words
it's like
become reality.
mantra.
Then those mantra turning into reality.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time, so I want to tell the viewers to stay tuned to the credits at the end for more information about Infinity Foundation Inner Quest talk show or our special guest. Can you chant us out? Can you do a chant while we fade away?
Oh, sure, I can do that.
Okay.
Bahun sahasmabhinim mita sayudhantang girimekalang udhita ghora sasena ma